Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a football Sunday on Big Phacts. I'm here with my good buddy Aaron Barrison. He's back after an episode off. How are we today, Aaron?
I'm wonderful. I don't know where I am, though. I can't see myself. What am I doing? What's going on here? Can you see me?
You're frozen on my side too, bud.
I don't know. All right, hold on. Let me figure this out. Well, yeah, go ahead, Just. I'm doing wonderful, bud.
I'm glad to hear. We're going to get into some football stuff. I've got a little bit of a message that I want to give off real quick to a country that I hope is being brought back together. I just got to get this off my chest after some of the shit that I've seen the last couple of days and been a part of. Only together are we going to grow forward. And that's the message that I think me and Aaron both share, that we would both say to you. Everybody at the network at Whitehorse, we're all saying the same thing, and I'm trying to get this out to everybody. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care why you voted for them. I don't care who you support, who you don't support. But we have to unify together. The message is together we prevail and separated we fail. That's it. And I'm really disheartened by the amount of baseless bullshit that's getting circulated through social media and all the other places. And it's a real problem for me personally. So my message to everybody, I don't care what your affiliations are. We need to move forward as one people, one country, and one United States of America. I don't know if I got my boy Aaron back yet. Are you back yet, bud? I don't think I got him.
No, he seems to be there. That's definitely an internet connection issue for sure.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
I'm fantastic. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I just thought I'd let you bounce some things off of me while Aaron fixes his connection.
I appreciate that. I'm sure you heard what I said, and I know we just talked a little while ago about it. And I know that if for anybody who doesn't know, Jeff is the figurehead of our media company. We're part of a Whitehorse, and I've been following you guys since season 1 of the Ever Evolving Truth. You know, I've been involved for a long time.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Part of the big reason why I like you guys as a source of information is because that is the message, man. And all of us in this country together have to put aside the partisan bullshit that we allowed to infiltrate this democracy and work together. And I just am tired of seeing the division, bro.
Yeah, unfortunately, the pessimist in me says it's not going to change because the same thing, the same things that they were saying in 2016, like give him a chance, let him do his job. You're wishing him to fail, which means you're wishing America to fail. None of them are adhering to their own message. And the fact of the matter is I did give Trump a chance because I didn't have a choice. I'll never forget it. The very first thing he did, now this is normal, but the very first thing he did, and Joe Biden's going to do it too, he's going to sign an executive order to undo all the previous president's executive orders. And the other side's going to throw a hissy fit. Now, I expected this in 2016. I knew it was going to, and this is why executive orders are not legislation. They are temporary. They're Band-Aids on major issues. But, there was a thing in there that an executive order that Obama put in there at the very the housing market was skyrocketing at the time, and he signed an executive order that essentially reduced the amount of PMI, which is mortgage insurance for FHA loans. If you're not familiar with real estate, it's a little thing, but it's a big thing when you go to buy a house. If you are on an FHA loan, which is a government-backed loan, and you're putting less than 5% down, you have to pay mortgage insurance, which ends up increasing your mortgage payment. So with the price of housing skyrocketing at the time, he signs an executive order to reduce this cost or even eliminate it depending on your credit and your credit profile. And this would make young people with student loans, car debt, all the other things that you all the challenges that you face being a young person trying to buy a house and make it in the world, it would essentially reduce their monthly payment a little bit. They wouldn't put as much burden on that mortgage insurance. And Trump signed an executive order undoing all of this. And I said, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, why can't you look at each individual executive order and be like, you know what, maybe we should leave this one alone because it benefits the American people. That was day one, the first thing he fucking did. I criticize him on it. And it's again, why can't we criticize our elected officials and hold them accountable? You know what I mean?
Like I got into that comment war with somebody who told me that, and I don't know if it was on the Teat page or something you had shared, but telling me that we're not holding Biden accountable for his mistakes. Tell me what mistakes I'm not holding him accountable for. The crime bill was awful. The rhetoric around it was terrible.
He was also voted on 100 to 1 in Congress. He wasn't the only one.
Right. He's owned his mistakes and he's shown up for it, man. I mean, I don't get that. Hypocrisy is the right word, but I don't know. I think the problem here, and this is not to be as insulting as it sounds, is they don't understand what that word means.
Right.
Hypocrisy, for those that don't get it, means that you get mad at somebody else for doing something that you have done or currently do. That's what hypocrisy is for anybody that doesn't get it. And I said this the moment that Joe Biden was called the election for when he won, and I said, I don't want any of the "he's not my president" bullshit. I don't want anything from you except for the same energy of "let's give him a chance" that you expected out of me. I gave it to you, and I expect it back. And again, I cannot stress this enough. This is not the end, guys. He's not the savior. This is not the second coming. This is not the guy that's going to change everything. First of all, there's 2 big Senate races in Georgia going to runoffs that are going to make a lot of headway for either the Dems to progress forward or the Republicans to hold back the Dems. Those seats are crucial. So what people seem to fail to understand, and the executive order point is a big one. Presidents are capable of little things. Partially permanent, only when they're in office, small scope things. That's what an executive order does. The legislative branch, the House and the Senate, is what creates the permanent laws in this country. The reason why the ACA is going to the Supreme Court is because it passed the House and the Senate and was ratified into law. It was not an executive order, and this is the difference. And all the people who tell me that Joe Biden's going to sign all these orders and give our country away here and there and otherwhere, first of all, his party doesn't back what you're trying to tell me it does. And he's just the president. He does not have sweeping power. The reason this country was created the way that it was to avoid a monarchy or a dictatorship in that fashion. We don't have a high overlord. We have 3 branches of government that work in unison to check and balance each other. And if I had to accept that shit 4 years ago when I thought the second coming of the Antichrist was here, you got to accept it now. And it's that simple.
Right. And, the good thing is Trump didn't get a whole lot done, permanent stuff done while he was in office. A lot of terrible executive orders. Most of them were challenged by the court. Most of them, he lost most of them. Like he couldn't even enact his own executive orders because they were so careless. But all that stuff can be undone. Thank God. He did pass some big legislation. The tax bill, which again, why aren't we allowed to be critical of what he passed if it wasn't what he said it was intended to do? Like the tax bill, he said everybody's getting a tax cut. Well, first of all, if you did pay less in taxes last year as a middle class worker, this coming year, according to his tax bill, your taxes will start to go up every year until 2027 if you make under $65,000 a year. That's 40% of America. Right. I, being self-employed, I paid more in taxes the past 2 years. So it's like where is this tax bill that helped me? It didn't.
Taxes is so important, and this is something that I understand. Again, working side by side with the guy that owns the business I work for, the payroll tax cut. Nobody understands how damaging this is, not only to Social Security but to your future taxes.
Right.
They take that tax away, Social Security goes bankrupt. Do you think that now all of a sudden the United States government is going to stop spending so much money on defense? I doubt it. I know that based on history and lessons I've learned and this country's taught me, that as soon as they have the absolute necessity to get that money going back into Social Security, which is what the payroll tax mostly does, that's just coming back onto us. And the big problem here is we're going to go roughly a year, maybe a little bit more, without that tax. So that's a year's worth of taxation that needs to be made up for. So if your payroll tax was equal to 2% of your income, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be 4% when it comes back because it has to make up for the loss. And this is the type of stuff that I saw the writing on the wall the last 8 months. These are the things that Donald Trump and the Republicans decided to do to make Joe Biden's presidency look bad. Yeah, because Donald Trump took all the positive foundation of Obama, took every amount of credit for it, didn't take any of the criticism for any of his wrongdoing, and essentially bankrupted this country. I don't care what your opinion on conservatives versus liberals is in spending, but I'm telling you, if you look at the raw math that comes from Donald Trump's White House, We are in a tremendous amount of debt, way more debt than we started when he took over in office. And it's just crazy. Do we have AB back?
Looks like we
Can we
do.
hear you now?
All right. Yeah. So
There we are.
went red. Looked like nothing was going to be happening today. Saved the day. All right. So where did we leave off, guys? Where are you guys at?
I went on a diatribe about how we need to, as a country, come together. I've seen a lot of heinous shit the last couple days of everybody wanting to stay divided. And my message, and I spoke for you, I did say I think Aaron would say the same. The only way forward is together. Together we prevail. Divided we fail. That's it. That was what my diatribe was about.
Perfect. I would agree with that, and I am not so much. I'm a political guy to the point where I want to see everybody do well and have equal opportunity, and that's about the extent of it. That's what this whole thing is about, and I am very. Even though I'm happy with the results, I would have accepted them the other way around, and I hope that the other side accepts the results as well, and we can come together and unite rather than always being at each other's throats. And I think that was the message that was delivered last night. So that being said, if you've gotten everything off your chest, just
I'm ready to go now, bud. Let's talk about sports. Let's do it.
I want to get into some football. And so last week we both didn't do too well. I think I was 6-8.
I was 7-7
after that Giants game. You were 7-7. Okay, so we were game off. But last week was obviously a rough week for both of us, Justin. And I was listening to our podcast just last week, and some of my picks were wrong, but you were very confident that some of my picks were going to be wrong, and you were very confident that some of my picks were going to be right. So we put together a little fun couple audio clips for you just to recap last week's episode.
You better have put together where I was right, motherfucker. I'm letting you know now.
I know where you were right, and I'm going to mention it, but I just want to, I felt hurt because you made fun of me a lot. I said some picks, and you told me that I was the biggest idiot in the world, and that there was no way that was going to happen, and that these are NFL football teams. So let's go ahead and recap a couple of these clips here.
Let's get to it.
I just want to say, if you're listening to this and you want to watch the visual too, you should hop over to the Big Phacts Facebook page or YouTube and check this out. Justin, I'm really sorry. I feel like a kid going through two divorced parents here, but you're, this is great.
Is the Giants are getting 12.5 points against who look to be the favorite Buccaneers.
You got to start. Look at the screen, homie. You can't ask me to back up logic first. You got to say crazy shit again.
So I'm actually going with the Giants on this one. Most of the Giants, and just to cover, not to win, the Giants have played a lot of teams very close this year. They're a well-coached team. They're not a bad football team. Joe Judge knows Tom Brady. Chris Godwin is out. I don't think that matters much because the Bucs have some other wide receivers. The Bucs also have the highest-ranked overall defense in the league right now, and the Giants are on a team that scores well. I think it's an easy win for the Bucs by about 10. You might get some garbage time points. The thing that scares me about this is that the weather, up in New York is a little bit colder compared to Tampa Bay. The Giants haven't been that great at tackling. But again, at the end of the day, they are top 12 in the pass rush. The Giants are, even though they have one of the worst records in the league right now. I think the Bucs win the game, but not by 13 points. I'm going with a Bucs win, but I'm going with the Giants to cover, and I'm going to go over on this.
Holy shitballs, Batman. Just because of your confidence in that diatribe soapbox fucking broadcast you just made, this is my lock of the week now. It was going to be a different game, but now it's this one. Tom Brady played for 15 years in New England, dog. It's a boon to him to have cold weather. Rest of that team,
not talking about him.
Rest of that team, maybe not. Listen to me, bro. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is not going to allow Daniel Jones to put more than 6 points on the board today. And if you're trying to convince me that giving up 6, that Tom Brady doesn't score at least 21, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Lay the 12.5. This is an absolute stone cold lock. Lay the points. Take Tampa Bay. It's a 15-point game or better, and I agree it's going to be over.
The absolute stone cold lock of the week right there. 25.
Listen,
23.
I'm sad you didn't tell me this was happening. I would have made a cake that looked like a hat. I'd have eaten it right now. You were right. I was wrong.
All right, wait. So my video still out for some reason, but I'm going to keep talking because apparently it's not going to be on at all today. I think we got one more for you, Justin. I think
did we cut how you told me I was wrong about Cincinnati, or did we only make Aaron Barrison look?
No, that was the solid upset of the week that you picked, but it was the confidence that I love in you, Justin. It's just the confidence, all right? So I got one more.
Get me on this side. Let's get me on this side. Come on.
We actually have 2 more, but we can cut it down to 1 if you want. Do you want both of them, or do you want?
Let's get it over with. Run both. Aaron Diego can only take so much stroking. Let's go both.
And listen, I will say, Justin, you have been spot on about the Bengals and Joe Burrow all year long. I
appreciate someone coming to my defense.
Aaron just got to me. He got to me before you did.
All right, so we got the Pats, who last week I hopped on the train.
No way, Aaron picked the Patriots again? No way.
I said I hopped off the Pats train last week. They're playing the Bills this week.
Jumped right back on.
All right, so the Pats are getting 4 points. This is the last, I'm going to keep saying bad weather game of the week. We're getting into that time of year, which means there is going to be a lot of running the football this week. The Bills are at home. So the home team obviously gets 3 points. So realistically, they were favored by 1, and I wonder why. Big factors, the weather. Cam's about to lose his starting job. He knows he has to play well. The Pats are going to be running the ball all game. The Bills are going to be trying to run the ball all game. The Bills and Pats defense have been underwhelming all year. I think this is going to be a coaching matchup. This is the last week, Justin, that I am taking.
Don't lie to me.
It's the last week.
I'm
taking the Pats. The Bills have been on a little downwards decline over the last couple weeks, and so have the Pats. They've been playing awful. I can't imagine that 3 games in a row Cam Newton plays like this. Switch up the play calling, bad weather game, ugly game. It's going to be close, and that's really the reason I'm taking the 4 points. I think even if the Bills win the game, it's going to be by a field goal. So I'm going to go with the Pats, and actually I'm going to go with the under.
Cam Newton in bad weather. No running game in New England in bad weather.
Cam's the running game, yeah.
Fuck all the way off with that nonsense. This is an easy win for Buffalo. A fucking point. You had to put that one. I was almost fucking right.
Easy win for Buffalo? No, you weren't right.
Oh, come on, man. Let's go. Number 3. Let's just get them all out. Let's do it.
There it is. I was missing it earlier, too. Oh, man.
All right. So I'm going to go quick. All right. It's very easy. This is a professional football game. And you are giving me 19.5 points with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, who, if they're up by 20 in the second half, Pat Mahomes ain't coming back on that field. Andy Reid ain't stupid. This is the New York fucking Jets. Give me 19.5. I don't give a fuck if it goes over or under. Bet both sides, you'll make out. Who cares? This is 19.5.
It is. And it's going to be 30 and it's going to be 30-10 KC.
Yo, if I lose this one by a half, I'll eat it.
You're gonna lose this game by a half a point because it's gonna be 30-10.
If I do, it's fair. I'll take it. It's fair. That's Jesus letting me know I made a dumb decision.
Look, it's you'll probably never see me give 20 points to any team ever again, but I'm not sure. I don't think the Cleveland Browns, the 0-16 and 1-15 teams that they had are as bad as these Jets are right now with the coaching staff they had, and they're playing possibly the best team in the league. I don't think KC is a team that also plays really down to their competition. So I think this is just going to be an absolute rout. I'd actually be surprised because the KC is going to go up quick. The Jets are going to have to throw the ball to get in this game. KC knows the Jets are going to be throwing the football. There's going to be pick sixes. There's going to be fumbles. It's going to be an absolute mess. 35-10, KC wins that game.
Are you good now? Do you feel better about yourself?
I feel much better. I'm gonna take a quick commercial break myself. I don't know if you guys want to, and see if I can get my screen working again. But I will be right back, and then we can get into our picks. Sound good?
Sounds good, buddy. Go try to fix your terrible internet connection.
I gotta get this thing working the right way, man.
I'm coming for your ass now, bro.
Hey, so the upset. So the Bengals beat the Tennessee Titans
Handled, not beat, crushed.
week. So I will give you that, but it's the confidence I love. The professional football team, not going to happen. The hate for the pay. I love it all, man. I love you, and we're going to start doing this every week, not just to Justin, but to myself as well, because I had some bad picks last week. But luckily, I'm the creative mind here, and I got to Jeff first, and that's just what ended up happening. So
shut the fuck up and let's get to another losing week for you, bud. Come on.
You know what else it is though? It's Justin's facial expressions and the dynamic way he talks with his hands and stuff like that that make it so great. Like it's not
I'm
like
Italian. I can't help it.
All right,
it's phenomenal.
You guys want to get to the picks here?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's
So Aaron
do it.
can have another losing week, which I've yet to have this season, but that's all right. I make the bad ones. Let's go.
All right. Up first is Baltimore -1 on the road
Jesus
at the Colts.
Fucking Christ.
I guess I'll start since you seem happy with my
The
pick.
screen's on you, bud. That's the cue. Go ahead.
So, I actually I had the Ravens first here. I initially picked the Ravens. This is technically would be an upset by the Colts. So both of these teams have a top 10 rushing defense. So this actually is going to favor the Colts because Lamar Jackson simply just isn't as good as passer as Phillip Rivers is. It's not that Phillip Rivers is a great passer this year, but he's just not the passer that Rivers is. They're also top 10 in coverage. They're two good defenses. The Colts defense has been better. I think they can outscore the Ravens. I think we figured Lamar Jackson out. The Ravens also had to play a brutal game against Pittsburgh last week that they lost. Very close game. It seemed just like the top two, teams in the league. They have trouble, the Ravens, pulling out wins against the top, teams. They've beaten the Browns, the Texans, the Bengals, the Eagles, and Washington, and then they've lost to the Chiefs and the Steelers. The Colts, on the other hand, have had some bad losses against the Jags. That was their first game of the year, and the Bengals, just a weird loss. But this is just a gut feeling for me. I think it's going to go under 48 points. I'm going 27-20 Colts.
We're going to cut another one, I'm sure. I'm right or wrong. How the fuck do you take Phillip Rivers over Lamar Jackson? I hate Lamar Jackson. I think he's a terrible quarterback. Oh, my God. Okay. It is an upset. It is an upset. There's no buts here, bud. Everything before the but is bullshit. There ain't no but in my sentence. If the Colts win this game, it is an upset. That's the reason why they're getting a point, and the spread should be much larger than that. The only reason it's not is because Lamar Jackson looked terrible against a really good team in Pittsburgh. You made my point for me that I was going to say about this game. The Indianapolis Colts have only lost to good teams. The Baltimore Ravens have only lost to good teams.
That's not what I said.
Can I finish my point before you interrupt me, motherfucker?
Yeah.
That was my point.
Yeah, but that's
So
not what I said.
You brought up more specifics, right? So who have Baltimore beaten? Baltimore's beaten the Eagles. They've beaten the Washington football team. All these trash teams, right? The Indianapolis Colts are a trash team. They're not a good team. I said it last week. I meant it when I said it. I was on the moon for what the Colts could be with Phillip Rivers. We were both wrong. They're not that good of a team. They're not complete. Phillip Rivers is 100 years old. This game comes down to, can Lamar Jackson win by a field goal? And I think he can. I think when it comes to crunch time, he's going to be better than Phillip Rivers will be. It's going to be a close game. Did you say over or under?
Under.
27-20. I'm going to agree with under. I'm going to say 24-21. Baltimore covers -1.
All right.
Next. Oh, we agree. I didn't want to do this. I hated this game. So after the 35-9 trouncing I was wrong about, AB, I'm going to give you that game. I told you it was going to teach me a lot if it did.
Fucking Jets.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it's the fucking Panthers. I don't see. First of all, I think the over/under is fair. I think this is one that could go just over or just under, just because it's Kansas City and what the fuck they did last week. I'm going to take Kansas City covers the 10 easy. I'm going to say it goes over. This to me is as simple as I know that Kansas City is not undefeated like Pittsburgh is, but is Kansas City not the best team right now? And I think watching game by game, they're starting to show that they are. So I'm going Kansas City -10. I'll take the over.
Yeah, so the Panthers are really well coached, and they're a team that, because they're well coached, they beat the bad teams and they lose to the good ones. They're a middle of the pack team. They're overperforming at this point. The best teams they've faced are the Bucs and the Cardinals. They lost to the Bucs by more than 10 and lost to the Cardinals by 10. So I think that Kansas City is obviously better than both of those teams. Now, McCaffrey, I believe, is activated. He might be playing today, but they're one of the worst defensive teams in the league. And they're playing one of the most explosive offenses in the league. So I'm going to lay those 10 points and go with the Chiefs. Also going to go with the over by a couple points. I'm going 37-20. Kansas City.
Okay.
Seahawks and Bills. Now, in my right mind, I couldn't pick the Bills right now with only 3 points. They barely beat New England, who is falling off a freaking cliff right now. They played 2 close games with the Jets. This is a team that came out of the gate just trucking. 2 close games with the Jets. Most of the games they win are by a field goal. When they play someone like the Titans, they got blown out. So unless this is one of those trap games, which it almost seems too easy, give me Seattle all day. The only reason the Bills defense is even starting to be ranked a little bit higher and a little bit better than they were just a couple games ago is because of the teams they've had the fortune of playing over the last couple weeks. Seattle wins this game 34-23. So I like Seattle in the over.
I agree with your spread. If the spread were 6.5, I think this is a Buffalo game. I think that would be the spread that spells a trap. I don't agree with the over-under. I'm going under on this game. I think Seattle wins this game easily. I love Josh Allen. I love Stephon Diggs. I love a lot of the younger guys that Buffalo just hasn't been able to put together yet. They're still learning each other. I go Seattle -3 under, and I say it's going to be like a 27-14 type of game. I don't think it goes over 55, and I don't think Buffalo gets going. I think Seattle's defense steps up and looks pretty good this week.
Okay.
Oh, man, I really thought I was picking the Bears and you weren't gonna. That makes me upset because this is my upset of the week.
You like them straight up.
I think the Chicago Bears and our boy Big Dick Nick wins this game outright, and it's because of what I saw the Cincinnati Bengals do to this Tennessee Titans team last week. And please, for everybody, No, I'm not comparing Nick Foles and Joe Burrow. They are on two different fucking planets when it comes to talent and ability. But Chicago's defense is fucking nasty. They have a really good head coach who's very good at innovating offense. Cincinnati dismantled Tennessee by taking their defense off the field, essentially. They ran that game offensively. And Cincinnati's defense is not very good on paper and by eye. It's just not very good. And Tennessee couldn't do a goddamn thing against them. This is my upset of the week. I don't think you need the points, but I'm going to take the 6.5 with Chicago. I think Chicago wins this game outright in the over, 34-27.
So the Titans lost a heartbreaker the other week to Pittsburgh and then got beat by the Bengals handedly. Usually when you play a team like the Bengals and you get beat like that, you come out kind of raging. But at the end of the day, like I know the Titans are pissed. You called the upset last week. The Titans are playing at home. They're the second most efficient offense in the NFL behind only Seattle. They're going up against the Bears defense that's top 6 in coverage and pass rush and 5th in overall defense. The problem is the Bears stink on offense. If you want an idea of how bad the Bears stink on offense, the Cowboys are currently ranked higher than them. And they're coming off a heartbreaking OT loss to the Saints as well at home. And now they got to travel over to Tennessee. So even though the Bears defense is top 5, the run defense is outside the top 10, and Tennessee does that well. PFF has actually Tennessee as the best rushing offense in the league. I like this to be a low-scoring game. That's the reason I'm going with the Bears, because they're getting 6.5 points. I don't think that they're going to win the game, but I do think that the Bears are going to cover. I'm going to go 26-20 Titans. So they're going to cover by a half point and just under the over-under.
Okay.
Broncos Falcons in the shit show of the week.
I never thought you'd pick the Falcons as me, dog. I'm so happy.
So this is an interesting game because Denver looks good one week, and then they have comeback wins, and then they get shit on, and then they're like the better of the bad teams, I guess. Some weeks you have good QB play and good skill position play, and Jerry Jeudy's over here making catches, and KJ Hamler catches a game winner. The thing with Denver is that they're very good in pass coverage. They're actually one of the best in the league, and that's the Falcons' strength. They like to throw the ball around. Denver also has one of the worst offenses in the league and can't pass or run block worth of shit. The Falcons are bottom half of the league on offense and defense. Denver tends to beat the bad teams, but not by much. And if for some reason this turns into a shootout, the Falcons seem to always lose at the very end of the game. I'm going to take the 4 points here that Denver is getting. And I got Denver 27, Atlanta 24. So I think they're going to win outright, but I'm also going to take the points. I think they'll at least cover 27-24.
Well, you got the Falcons -4. You're not getting points.
Is that? Oh, I wrote something completely different. I must have sent Jeff the wrong pick.
Are you picking Denver?
Yeah, I'm picking Denver.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here I was thinking, why would you make the right fucking decision? That doesn't make any sense at all, does it? So Aaron,
is that the right spread? Oh, Denver +4. Yeah, that's what I got. Whoops.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking blame and not blaming it on the producers like Skip Bayless would. So,
no, my fault.
So, fuck, where do I start? I had listened to that whole thing that you just said thinking we agreed with each other. Now I got to break it all back down. So, Denver is a handicapped offense with tremendous capability, but I said it before. I'll say it again. I will continue saying it. Drew Lock is not an NFL quarterback. Period. Point blank. End of story. There's no debate about it anymore. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's first touchdown alone, showing you what he can do in a jump ball, and Drew Lock not throwing that fucking thing up every single day doesn't make sense. Drew Lock's not an NFL quarterback.
He's got a brutal offensive line.
Shut up.
Brutal.
Atlanta. I said last week I wouldn't pick again, much like you said you wouldn't pick New England ever again. But I look at this matchup and I see two things. I see Matt Ryan versus Drew Lock, an NFL quarterback versus a non, and Matt Ryan's not even a good one anymore. I don't see any chance in Atlanta, Denver coming and showing up and doing much of anything. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think Denver scores a lot in junk time, especially because Atlanta just can't hold a lead to fucking save their lives. I see a 35-28 or a 35-30 game when it's all said and done. So I'm going to lay the 4 points on Atlanta, and I'm going to go over.
You know, if Denver gets within 5 of Atlanta, they're going to blow that lead. You know it.
Hey,
you know
Jeff,
it in the
Jeff, can you mark this time so Mr. Arrogant next week we can put together a super cut of another losing week for him?
You know in the bottom of your
I
heart,
got it.
if they start giving up a lead, they're going to lose that game, or it's going to be like
game,
a 1-point
next
game.
Aaron already talked. Next game.
All right, the Giants.
Man. Whoa.
Go ahead. Go ahead, big dog.
Tonto. The screen's still on me,
I said, go ahead, big dog.
Oh, only because of what I saw last week. I'm starting to learn New York is a well-coached team right now.
Yes.
They're a bad team. They're a terrible fucking football team. 1-7 is real. They've earned it. But they're a well-coached team. Ron Rivera, also in Washington. It's a very well-coached team. What this came down to for me was this is a pride game. This is an inconsequential game for the rest of the season. No matter what team wins this game is going to have any benefit or gain from it. I see Daniel Jones, after almost beating Tom Brady, having a really, really, really rock-solid game today. I think this is a higher scoring game than the over-under gives you because I think both of these teams are kind of at the place where now they're trying to see what they've got on the field. The Ron Rivera, again, two well-coached teams, when your season's over halfway through the year, now you're trying to see what's there for next year. And I think they're going to kind of unlock stuff going forward and just fuck around and play football and see what they have. I see this being like a 27-24 3-point win by New York in the over. That's what I got. Go ahead and tell me how Washington football team is going to do better.
Well, Washington's coming off a bye. Washington's already lost to the Giants by 1. So I think when you have 2 bad teams in a division, typically they split the season series. It's not like one of these teams is way better than the other one. So realistically, I just like the split. The Giants just lost a heartbreaker to the Bucs, so they're coming off a tough loss, and then they have to go see Washington, which is a well-coached team. I like Washington to go in there, wreck the Giants' O-line, create some turnovers, and win this game 24-16. Washington in the under.
Next.
Food for thought, though. Washington does have the number 1 pass defense in the league. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine.
I forgot Jeff's a Washington fan.
It's that D-line, man. It's that D-line causing those turnovers. So Miami and Arizona. Arizona has the number 1 offense in the league. I don't think Tua in his second start is going to be able to keep up with the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. I had a whole bye week to watch that under mediocre Tua performance. He just didn't look ready to me. Miami's a good all-around team. I think if Fitzpatrick's there, the line's different, the game's different, but new QB, Arizona's coming together. Tua's not really ready to play. I just like Arizona to put up a lot of points in this one. Arizona 38, Miami 23, way over on the 49.
I don't disagree with anything that you said. Tua, as I predicted. How about can we do this, Aaron? Why don't you do this for me while you're going back to hear how I'm wrong? Why don't we put together a super cut of all the shit I say that's spot the fuck on? Because here's another one. Tua Tagliavoa, Voya, whatever the fuck his name is not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. He had a stinker laying an egg. There's not even a term to describe what that team did around him to prop him up and make him all he had to do was not fuck up. The first fucking play of this kid's career is a fumble. I'm just saying, there's no question in my mind that Tua is shit. He is trash. Jalen Hurts was the better quarterback. We're going to find out eventually. I cannot stress enough. This is my lock of the week. Arizona wins this game by at least 10. My final score, again, I agree with the over, 35-24 Arizona.
Yeah, that's a good lock. I like that lock.
All right.
We're both low on the Saints. Go ahead.
Yeah, but this one's fun. You know why it's fun? Because the number 1 and number 2 passing leaders in history are playing each other, and it's just cool. Because of that, right? I don't think Tampa Bay is going to make the playoffs and make noise. We know this. And I think New Orleans is starting to realize that they're an injury or two away every day from being a basement team. I think that this is Drew Brees and Tom Brady walking onto a field, pulling out their dicks and seeing who's bigger. This is going to be a bloodbath on both sides. I don't expect to see a lot of defense. I expect to see a lot of fucking fly routes and trick plays, and expect New Orleans to throw in a couple of flea flickers because this is just what they do now. Way over. 42-38 Patriots cover.
Yeah,
Buccaneers. My bad, Tom Brady. Buccaneers cover.
The Saints are one of those 5-2 teams that are not as good as even that record is. They just don't look the same to me. First of all, I'm taking Brady over Braze all day. Tampa has one of the best defenses in the league, and the Saints are squeaking out wins against teams that they should be destroying if they were the same team they've been the last couple of years. They beat the Chargers by a field goal. They beat the Panthers by a field goal. They beat the Bears by a field goal. I mean, these are not great teams. All those teams are good literally on only one side of the ball, if that. Tampa's good on both. I like Tampa 27-17. I think it's going to be under. I know everybody's expecting a shootout, but I just think Breeze isn't good enough, and that Saints offense isn't going to be good enough at this point to get Kamara going and put up enough points for this game to kind of go over. Antonio Brown playing this week?
I think so. He's supposed to.
He's supposed to play this week, right? I mean, I don't think this is going to be at least a 10-point game to me. I think 4.5 is the wrong line for this game. If you look at the games the Saints have played against bad teams, I don't understand the line really, but I'm taking Tampa Bay, and I'm taking Tampa Bay in the under.
All right.
A worst shit show of the week.
This
even worse than what did I say the other one was? This is
Atlanta.
It. Yeah, okay. That's a better one.
Yeah, this is the shit show of the week, though.
I don't really want to get much into this. I thought the Jags might surprise some people after, week 1. We were real high on the Colts, and then they beat them. I saw Minshew give his team a spark, and I was like, yeah, rah, mustache Minshew. And then they're just a bad franchise, and they just don't have any skill players there. Like I don't know how they're gonna win more than 3-4 games this year if they're lucky. Bottom 5 defense, but so are the Texans. This is gonna be a lousy game. Both teams are 1-6. I think the Texans are the better 1-6 team, just because they have a better QB. They beat the Jaguars 30-14 last time they played. I usually like bad teams to split season series, but the Jags just don't have anything anywhere. So I'm taking the Texans. I'm laying the 6.5 points, and I'm just going to take the under on a win because I don't care about this game.
I couldn't agree with anything. This might be the most we've agreed in the history of knowing each other. This is 2 terrible fucking football teams. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see it. Deshaun Watson, I guess, is what you're watching for. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about the over, the under. I agree again. I've watched Jacksonville lose by 2 touchdowns to every other bad team. What makes this one fucking different? Houston minus 6.5, and just because you took the under, I'll go over. Who cares?
Yeah.
For what it's worth, Antonio Brown is expected to play anywhere between 10 and 35 plays.
He's going to score a touchdown.
Right. At least. Fuck. All right. God, I can't believe we agreed on this one too. And just before I say that, you're not supposed to be taking Minnesota, right? You actually took Detroit. Okay,
Yeah, no,
all
I
right.
took
Just wanted to make sure before I fucking wrote it down and had to scribble it out again. Detroit's shown me more. I know Minnesota had this big win over Green Bay. It's a divisional fucking game, bro. That's what happens. It's happened that way every single fucking year since the Packers and the Vikings have started to hate each other. Kirk Cousins is garbage. So's Matt Stafford, but he just smells a little bit better. This is another one, dude. Not only do I not give a shit, I think that this is a simple one. You take the 3.5 points to the better team. It's that easy. Detroit plus 3.5. Because they are two junk teams, though, I'll take the over on this.
Yeah, it's like, what is the line? Minnesota is pretty good on offense and pretty bad on defense. But I usually have a rule, and that rule is when you beat a team you shouldn't beat, and I know it's a divisional game, but even in the division, if you beat a team that you shouldn't beat, you usually fall off pretty bad the next week. Minnesota traded someone away they literally just traded for a couple hours ago, and it seems like they've kind of given up, and then they got rah-rah and went into Green Bay and literally pushed them around for 3 hours. Kind of shows us what Green Bay is. They're just kind of a soft team that's, fancy. Detroit, on the other hand, they get embarrassed by the Colts last week. I also like picking the better QB when they're getting points, and I think Matt Stafford's better than Kirk Cousins. I think Detroit comes back, wins this game tonight. Detroit outright 28-24. And since the over-under is 52 and that lines up perfectly with that, I'll actually go ahead and I'll say 30-24 Detroit.
Okay.
Raiders Chargers in a game that's not as bad as it sounds. So Raiders are getting a point. It's crazy that the Chargers kind of suck this year, but I actually really like watching them play. I like watching Justin Herbert. I think he's phenomenal. Games in the division are always really hard to pick. The Chargers had a heartbreaking loss to Denver last week with no time left, and I can't believe that happened. Really hard pill to swallow for them. They were the better team all night. The Raiders can't rush the passer if their life depended on it. They're awful in coverage. I think Herbert comes in and he's pissed off from last week. They put a good game plan together, and they light up the Raiders. The defense steps up. It's supposed to be an evenly matched game. I actually think it's not going to be. I just have this gut feeling Chargers in the under 35-14 in a blowout.
I want you to know, and I apologize for this, Jeff, that this decision change did not just happen with that level of confidence that you just shared. Because up until yesterday, about, 3.5 hours after I sent Jeff my picks, I went back and looked at this game. So everybody looking, Justin's name should be in gray. I changed my pick. And here's why. And again, not because of that overwhelming confidence that you rarely share, but I know you feel passionate about this one. I went back and watched Oakland last week. To me, Justin Herbert, or Herbert, as he's starting to get called, which I fucking love, by the way. He's going to be Justin Herbert from now on for me. I like him. I like what I see. I do like watching him play. I agree with a lot that you said about Justin Herbert. I look at what the quality of wins that Oakland has fallen into and what I've seen on a week-by-week basis with the Chargers. And what Oakland's really good at is capitalizing when you fuck up. That's about the only thing that they do well. Derek Carr can see a missed coverage to Nelson Aguilar. That's why he looks so good this year, because he has a quarterback that sees him. The Chargers are good. Don't get me wrong. They're a good team. I would give them the good label. I just think this one, after doing a little bit more research last night, is primed to be because I think this is an upset. I know that they're getting a point and it doesn't look as big of an upset, but your passion about this crushing victory that the Chargers are going to have, this is to me a true upset if the Raiders pull this out. I think it's a low scoring game, 23-20. Raiders win. I'll take the point for Oakland.
Change the picks because you gotta go the other way.
No, I have a whole fucking note written, and again, the screen's on me, dickwad. I'll do this one. So listen, only because of how right you were about Kansas City was this an easy pick for me. I told you all last week that I was fucking nervous about 10.5 points to the Cowboys and Eagles. I was nervous. Now, obviously, the two Pennsylvania teams could not be farther apart in talent. Pittsburgh's 7-0, and the Eagles should be fucking 0-7. So it's a different comparison, but it's important this way. I see a line of 14.5 with a team like Pittsburgh that is yet to be let down. And I see a team in Dallas that has so much skill around a bad quarterback, could be a lock for an upset, especially when you try to tell me it's going to be over 2 touchdowns. But then I go back and I watch Ben Roethlisberger and Chase Claypool and Juju Smith-Schuster and that defense annihilating motherfuckers. I watch it happen week in and week out. There's so much tape on what Pittsburgh has done right this year. This, to me, is another easy one. Dallas has shown you, I mean, they kicked 3 field goals against the Eagles and 2 against the Giants. Their offense is dead. I don't think that they score more than 10 against Pittsburgh. And I think Ben Roethlisberger against that defense can put up 55 if he wants to. The over-under, in my opinion, is low, even though the spread's big. I'm going to say that this is a 35-10, just over the over-under win for Pittsburgh, and lay the points out.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that. I think Pittsburgh could potentially score 44 by themselves at this point. The Eagles played awful last week and beat this team by 14 points. So I don't see any reason why the Steelers aren't going to come in and beat this team by 14.5, 42-10 Steelers. I don't have much to say about it. Okay, Patriots Jets. So they rallied around me last week, Just. So we both got this, which is weird. I didn't think and actually I guess I should have picked you to get the Jets. So here's my explanation. When it comes to the Patriots, or when it comes down to it, I think the Patriots might be the worst remaining team on the Jets schedule. And they get to play them twice. And if the Jets win one of those games, they'll be 1-15. I think that they will win one of these games at some point. The Jets got easily handled by the Chiefs last week. The Patriots played a close game against the Bills and lost. The Bills also aren't very good right now, and they haven't played the Jets that well. Neither of these teams can score. The Jets can actually throw the ball around a little bit because they have Darnold, but they have no O-line. The Pats can't throw the ball around. It's going to be a total of 12 Cam Newton passes and some designed runs. I know the game is going to go under, but I'm actually going to go with the Jets to cover and actually come close to winning this game for the first time this year. I'm going to say 2017 Patriots. So I'm taking the Jets with the points, but I think it's going to be within a field goal or around that.
If I were to say that the New York Jets won this game outright, do I have to change my upset of the week? Because I don't want to put that much pressure on this. But
I don't. This line is weird too.
Hold on. So, what did you just say? 20-17. You thought the score would be? All
yeah.
Right. I'm going to say this. If one of these teams scores 20 and wins this game, it's going to be the New York Jets. I don't like them to win outright a lot, but I agree with everything that you said. The Patriots are the worst team on their schedule, and if they have a hope to win, this is the one. I see a much different picture than you do. I see a 12-9 victory for the Patriots because they were able to move the ball just a little bit better than the Jets, and obviously getting 9. I'm being serious, dude. As down as you are on the offense of this game, I'm further down. This might be also, we might have to call this the shittiest game of the week. This is a fuck terrible game. And it's a shame because it's divisional. Anyway, I digress. I think this is a low-scoring game. If I'm wrong and your score prediction is right, like a 20-17 or a 23-20. I picked the Jets to win this game outright. So give me the points, give me the Jets, any which way it ends.
So this is it's interesting because if the Patriots lose this game or it's close, Bill Belichick is going to be so embarrassed and so mad in practice that Adam Gase took this game to a point that they almost lost. And I don't know what that means for the Patriots the rest of the year. I never in a million years envisioned a world where Bill Belichick, we're picking Adam Gase to come close with that Jets team against the Bill Belichick team, but that's just how bad the Patriots offense has been. Someone has to put some points on the board. And it's just
I don't disagree, bro. I just mean, again, when I look at like if you said to me, Justin, what are the 3 worst offenses in the NFL right now? 2 of those 3 are playing each other. That's how fucking bad this is. And because of that, and again, not that either one of them's got a world-beating defense. It has nothing to do with that. Their best defense is the fact that the other offense is that fucking terrible. So I don't know that. I could be wrong. You could be closer to right in your score. I just don't think that either one of these teams can muster much, bro.
So what do we disagree on this week? It's the Ravens-Colts game and the
Falcons. You've got the Colts. I've got Baltimore. You've got Denver. I've got Atlanta. You have the football team. I've got the Giants. I have you have the Raiders +1. I have the Raiders +1. You have the Chargers -1, and then we agree all the way the rest of the way down.
All right, so we got 4 out of the way. That's good. I like 4. That's good.
I like it when you pick different than me, just because since we started this, you keep having losing weeks and I keep having winning or break even weeks. So I'm cool with it. I'm good with it.
The first couple I did beat you the first 2 weeks pretty easily, and then you started, thinking a little bit and doing some research like sports analysts do, and that happened. So
what happened to you? Did you stop doing research? Is that why you shit the bed?
I did too much research.
Oh, that's what it is. Too much. I tried too hard.
Much.
All right, Michael Scott,
research.
Is that your only flaw? You care too much?
That's right. So we were going to get into some NBA stuff, and it looks like we're about to run into this hour.
I was going to say, bro, since you're still choppy with your video, do you want to just do a whole NBA episode on Wednesday?
Yeah, I got to get a different modem, and I was trying to plug this in, and my modem just all screwed up. So I got some sleepers for the Sixers I want to go over. The Sixers aren't picking until the middle of the rounds, but the draft is coming up, I think, on the 18th. So I definitely want to dig into this. I want to dig into the top 5 guys in the NBA draft, where I think they're going to go and what team needs what. Our beloved Eagles don't play this week. Hopefully they're preparing to win the following week. They're closing in on 500, which is what I thought would be out of reach after week 3. And they're still not a good team, so we'll see what happens. Just, you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, let's do a closing thought. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I don't have a closing thought yet. I'll build off of yours.
Fucking don't. Jeff, blow me up. All right, guys. First of all, I want to thank Aaron and Jeff for that fantastic montage. That was fucking hilarious. It's a nice little humble ego check for Justin. I will go back to the drawing board myself, and I can promise you we'll have some golden Aaron Barris and his fucking dumb takes. We'll get there. Closing thoughts are the same as opening thoughts, guys. As Aaron was getting his internet together. First of all, pay attention to our locks. I will say this for Aaron and myself. When we call a locker an upset, we're pretty close to 100% fucking accurate almost all the time. We watch a lot of football, guys. It's something that we do because we love it. And it's the locks and the upsets we're usually close to spot on. Not a lot of great games this week. The Birds aren't playing. I know that. I'm excited to watch Kansas City continue and watch Andy Reid fuck this league up. I'm sad it wasn't for us, but I'm happy for him. Have a good football Sunday. I'm excited about Wednesday's episode. We're going to get into the draft. We're going to get into some sleeper picks, guys that the Sixers need to look for, some trade scenarios. I've got some shit. Aaron's got some shit to go over. NBA season starting on December 22nd. We're going to dig into that too. I think the NBA did the best job of all 4 major sports in this country when it came to the pandemic, both dealing with it in time for last season and the preparation for this season. And again, my closing thought, as always, let's stop fucking fighting each other. Let's come together. Let's have conversations. Me and Aaron think we're both stupid for a lot of reasons, but it's because we talk, we learn from each other. And we all have to let all this division that we've accepted for the last 4 years go and become a better people together. Together we prevail, and that's what I got, brother.
Awesome. So I'm really excited to watch Tua for a second week. I agree with everything Justin said. Let's stop making it political. Let's start helping each other out, and let's come together and figure out, how we can make our nation better rather than what differences we have as a nation. There's really not much difference between parties. They divide us on a couple issues, but ultimately they're going to continue to do that if we don't decide that we want to come together. The games that I'm excited about this week are the Seattle game. I think that's a big lock over the Bills. The Bills are playing awful right now, and Seattle's going to keep rolling. I like Justin's lock going with the Cardinals this week. I think they absolutely trounce Miami, but we'll see how Tua bounces back from a below mediocre performance. And on Wednesday, I am going to tell Justin how much I like Daryl Morey, because I think he's going to find some gems in the late first and the late second rounds. We're going to get some shooters around Ben Simmons. He's going to tell me how bad of a GM and basketball operations guys Daryl Morey is.
I never said that.
And we're going to argue about that for a couple of weeks. He doesn't like Daryl Morey. This is Doc Rivers' team, so we'll see what happens with that. And big Phacts, all streaming platforms. I'll try to give you the last word next time, bud. You can just rub some dirt in my face.
You motherfucker. I never said he was bad. Stop that. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, do your shit. Tell them where we're at.
All right. Thanks, Jeff, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
All right, y'all.